The village knew us as the twins. Kofi and I, we were two parts of a whole, inseparable. Our laughter echoed through the palm trees. Our dreams mirrored each other under the vast African sky. We shared everything, our small triumphs, our childish fears. We were born under the same moon. Our mothers, close friends, called us brothers. We fished in the river at dawn, we chased fireflies at dusk. Life in Amanfrom was simple, peaceful until Amara came. With her laughter like the tinkling of wind chimes, Amara captivated our hearts. Her eyes, deep as the river after a storm, held a mystery, a promise. We were young, our hearts easily swayed. Kofi and I, we both fell for Amara. She became the sun around which our world revolved. Amara was kind to us both, but I saw it. The way her eyes lingered a moment longer on me, the way her laughter danced with mine. Kofi saw it too. A darkness crept into his eyes, a darkness I mistook for jealousy. The easy camaraderie we once shared began to fray. Silence stretched between us, heavy and thick like the humid air before a storm. Kofi grew distant. He would disappear for hours, returning with a haunted look in his eyes. One particularly sweltering afternoon, I found Kofi by the riverbank. He sat hunched over, his shoulders racked with silent sobs. I touched his shoulder, my own heart heavy. "What troubles you, brother?" I asked. He looked up, his eyes filled with a desperate, unfamiliar light. "Amara will never choose me," he whispered, his voice thick with despair. Our village elders spoke of an old shrine deep within the forest. A place of power, they called it, a place where wishes were granted, but the price, they warned, was often steeper than one could imagine. Kofi, consumed by his desire for Amara, became fixated on the shrine. He spoke of it in hushed tones, a dangerous glint in his eyes. I tried to reason with him, to remind him of the stories, the warnings, but he wouldn't listen. Love, or rather his desperate need for it, had deafened him to reason. One night, under the silver light of the moon, Kofi slipped away. I woke to find his side of our hut empty, a chilling void where he once lay. I knew then where he had gone. Fear, cold and clammy, gripped my heart. My brother, my friend, was walking a dangerous path, a path that threatened to swallow him whole. The air hung heavy and still as I entered the forest. The trees, gnarled and ancient, loomed over me like accusing giants. They had witnessed countless seasons, countless whispers of desperation and despair. Now they bore silent witness to mine. The path to the shrine was overgrown, reclaimed by nature. Each step I took felt like a violation. The whispers started as I neared the clearing, soft at first, like the rustling of leaves, then louder, more insistent, swirling around me like a swarm of angry bees. They spoke of power, of sacrifice, of a darkness that promised to consume all in its path. And then I saw him. Kofi knelt before a crude altar, his back to me. He was speaking, his voice a low murmur, but the words were lost to the whispers that now roared in my ears. Hovering above him, a form coalesced from the shadows. It writhed and pulsed, a grotesque mockery of life. Kofi had made his pact. He had invited the darkness in. Kofi returned, a changed man. The darkness he had embraced clung to him like a shroud. It was in the way he smiled, a touch too wide, a touch too knowing. It was in his eyes, once filled with warmth, now cold and calculating. He was a stranger in my brother's skin. Amara, oblivious to the sinister shift in Kofi, gravitated towards his newfound confidence. He was everything I was not. He was bold, daring, his words laced with an unnatural charisma, and slowly, like a flower wilting under a merciless sun, I felt Amara slipping away. The whispers followed me everywhere. They taunted me, mocked my pain, and whispered of Kofi's betrayal. The shadow grew stronger with each passing day, feeding on Kofi's desperation, his willingness to sacrifice everything, and I was to be the final offering.